Today we're starting our unit on solving systems of linear equations, and the first way we learn to solve them is by graphing. Your essential question: how do I solve systems of equations? Your learning intention: I'm learning to solve systems of equations. You have one warm-up question. Write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to the given line that intersects the given point. So pause the video and see if you remember how to do that. I hope you tried. If you can do the warm-ups on your own, then you know you're understanding the concept. So the first thing we have to do is to decide what is the slope of a line that is perpendicular. We know that slope is the opposite reciprocal. The slope is -3/4. So the new slope, opposite would be positive. Reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3 x plus b. Now we have to figure out what b is. We've got an x and y here to substitute in, and then we'll solve. So y is equal to, y is -5. I forgot to put that in. -5 is equal to 4/3 times -9 plus b. Okay, hopefully you were able to do that. -5 is equal to, well, -9 divided by 3 is -3. -3 times 4 is -12 plus b. Okay, let's put it here. That's divided. That is where the negative comes from. Okay, now I've got to solve. To solve, I add 12 to both sides. -5 plus 12. 12 minus 5 is 7. 7 is equal to b. Now, replace the b in our original equation. Y is equal to 4/3 x plus 7. And we're done. So hopefully that all made sense. Even if you were still not quite understanding, it makes sense about how to do the math. Okay, so now we're looking at solving systems of equations. First of all, we have to decide what is a solution set. A solution set for a system of equations are the point or points in common. And you know it's a set. So let's take a minute and think. We've got two lines. What can happen if we have two lines? Well, what if they're parallel? How many points in common do they have? If they're parallel, there's no points in common. They will never intersect, and there will be no solution set. It'll be the empty set. What about lines that intersect? If they intersect at one point, then you'll have one solution. What if it's the exact same line? If it's the exact same line, you'll have an infinite number of solutions. So the solution set will be either the empty set because they're parallel, one point because they intersected a point, or an infinite set of points because they're the same line. So hopefully you remember how to graph, because the first part of learning to solve systems of linear equations is by graphing. So on the first one, where do I begin? B is -2. I'm going here, 1, 2. How do I move? -1/2, which is down 1, right 2. Down 1, right 1, 2. Okay, now we will draw the line. Okay, for the other one, what is our solutions? Where do we begin? We begin at +2. How do we move? -3/2, down 3, right 2. So here's 2, 1, 2. That's my beginning point. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2. Down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2. Here is our point of intersection. That is our solution. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So the solution is 4, -4. That's the point where they intersect. So, pause the video. Can you remember how to graph? Well, I'd hope you tried. On the first one, you begin at -4. You move 3/1, which is up 3 and right 1. I forgot my equal sign there. If it's a number, that tells you, and if it's positive, you go up. If it's negative, you go down. So I get -4. 1, 2, 3, -4. I go up 1, 2, 3, right 1. 1, 2, 3, right 1. That gives me a couple points. So maybe I can graph it a little bit better. Okay, what about the next one? I begin at 3. How do I move? This is negative. -1/2, which means down 1 and right 2. So I'm starting at 3. 1, 2, 3. I go down 1 and right 2. Go down 1 and right 2. If you notice, one of the points we used goes right through the other line. So our point of intersection is 1, 2, 1, 2. In both these cases, you have Slopes that are different, that means that they will intersect at one spot somewhere. Okay, once again, pause the video and see if you can begin your graph. Okay, for the first one, you begin at 2. You move -2, which is down 2 and right 1, because it's -2/1. So I start at 2, go down 1, 2, right 1, down 1, 2, right 1. So sometimes I will make 2 or 3 points so that I can get a better line. Okay, for the second one, where do you start? Oh, is it in y = form? No, it's not. So, solve for y. I have to divide everything by 2. So I end up with y is equal to -2x minus, whoops, not 4, minus 2. So I begin at -2. I move -2, which is down 2, right 1. So I start at -2, which is right here. I move down 1, 2, right 1. Guess what? What kind of line are these? Well, they've got the exact same slope, but different y-intercepts, which means that they are parallel, and the solution set is the empty set. They don't ever touch, there's no points in common, there is no solution. Okay, can you graph the next one? Try it on your own, then check your answer. Well, I hope you tried, and I hope this is only a check for you. So if I'm looking at the first one, where do I begin? I begin at 2. I move. This is -1/2, so it's down 1 and right 2. Where's 2 at? 1, 2. Go down 1 and right 1, 2. Draw your line. Okay, for the second one, where do I begin? At -4. How do I move? I go up 1 and right 4. It's 1/4. Okay, here's 0, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go up 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4. What is my solution set? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -2. Okay, now, if you have not tried at all yet, you have to try to see if you're understanding it. So, pause the video and graph the next one on your own. Okay, where do I begin? I begin at 2. How do I move? It's 2/3, so it's up 2 and right 3. So up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to draw the line. Okay, for the next one, where do I begin? I don't see anything there. If we don't see anything there, what number do we use for nothing? 0. So I begin at 0. I move 4/3, which is up 4, right 3. Start at 0, 0, go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1, 2, 3. My solution is the point 3, 4. So, how do you know you're successful? You know when you're successful? When you can solve any system of equations. There are 3 different ways we solve systems of equations. This is the first one. The first one is by graphing. The second one is by substitution. And the third one is by elimination. So we are now solving systems of equations. And specifically graphing.